Okay. According to the our course outline, well, actually, we want to discuss more on the decision analysis of the supply chain in terms of network design for supply chain. So there is a lot of things related to network design, including the how do you plan the distribution planning, how do you locate the facilities, how do you decide the transportation modes. Those are the topics normally related to network design. And one particular topic that is quite how to say popular for network design is how to locate the facility in your supply chain network. So we're going to discuss it today. And again, since this is a graduate courses, so I try to put as much as possible from multiple sources. But basically, this particular topic, I have one book from Professor Daskin. I will share the titles to you, the book's titles to you. And you may, if you are doing network design problems, especially doing the optimization for network design, I think that's a very, very good book to start with. And those book I think covered mostly about location allocation problems, in which I already put it here. And the rest of it, like there is a lot of extension from these particular problems. Perhaps like one that I will discuss today, so-called hierarchical location problems. And then when you consider the nature of this type of problem in real case, for example, the demand might be uncertain, and then the travel distance from one facility to another facility. Yeah, those uncertain factors being considered in this type of problem, it will add some more complexity for this for the decision that you are going to make. So there is a lot of variance also for facility location problems that consider the dynamic or stochastics factors in the decision making process. So one of it is the dynamic, one of it model as the dynamic facility location. We will see it later. But again, I will not really going into deep to this type of problem, because what I want is to introduce you with the basic model first. But when you work on it in your real case or a practical application, perhaps you need to consider the dynamics version of it or the stochastic version of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do for today's class. And actually, there is a lot of tools we can study for this discussion, but I will just find you the video that some of it I already create in my YouTube channel, but some of it maybe we need to find another resources for you to study about it. So because if we need to implement this in so many technology, I think it's gonna be take too much time to teach for you. I think that one what will be for your elaboration elaborated study. You need to conduct it by yourself. So it's a self-learning process. Okay, let's start with the a little bit of definition first, or a little bit of theoretical part of it. So basically, the topic related to facility location problems would belong to, if from the book that we refer as our main main literature for this class, in which it is the book from Professor Chopra about supply chain management. This content will be more related to the part 2 of his book, in which those part 2 discussing about how you design the supply chain networks. Okay, so network design in supply chain, well, basically in that book there is 3 main topics discussed about this part 2 to describe about this part 2, how to design, how to do network design for your supply chain. Okay, there is 3 parts. First is modeling the distribution networks. Okay, how do you decide where, so you have the network that's already established for your supply chain. Let's say you have 3 sources for the production, 4 sources for the distribution, and then let's say 5 customers. Okay, for each layer of your supply chain, how you will decide to distribute your products, whether it's supplier 1 send product to distributor 2, or and so on and so on. Those are the things that being discussed in the modeling the distribution networks. You can, I think we will, I'm not sure, let's see, because from the syllabus or the course outline, I think we plan to discuss a little bit about that. But if we have no time, I think I will better introduce you with the tools to solve this type of problems. Let's see for the next week. Okay, so and then the second part of it is the one that we are going to discuss today. It is the how we can decide which or where we will locate the facility needed for to support our supply chain network. So basically, a decision related to facility will belong to strategic decision. It is the characteristic of the strategic decision is like the decision is gonna be a long-term decision, and it will need high investment. And then once the decision being made, that decision will affect your sequencing decision for the entire supply chain, or for the next or the other level of decision, like technical decision on operational decision. Let's say like this. Take example, if you run a company and then you want to build a new branch, or you want to open a new branch for your or sub branch of from the main branch of your company. Okay, and how do you plan to locate those new branch office? Okay, so it can be referred back to this type of problem. How do you locate a new facility in which a branch office? So for those decisions, you may want to consider like, maybe I will base the decision on where my employee located, right? I want to open the branch so that my employee feel easier to go to the office. That's possible. Or another, if you want to use the perspective of the customer, I want to open a branch where I will have more customer if I open branch there. Okay, this type of decision may be similar with when you running an e-commerce company. You will maybe need a warehouse to store the products that is being sold in your e-commerce site. Okay, and then perhaps after your your business getting better and better, so you may have more customers spread in more vast area. Okay, let's say if you open in Indonesia, west part is Indonesia is the okay, like capital city like Jakarta, or big city like Surabaya will be the best place to start your e-commerce warehouse. because the demand must be there. It's a big city, and then you can have more demand there and easier to easier and then closer to your main customer. But if your e-commerce getting bigger, perhaps several smaller city, medium to smaller city, will also order from your e-commerce site. So perhaps at that condition, you may not be able to serve them as fast as the customer that is located near with your warehouse. So if you want to open a new warehouse, what are you going to do? What kind of consideration you will need to make? Yeah, this is the type of problems that belong to facility location problem. So basically, it's selecting or placement of a facility considering several factors. And in the traditional supply chain, it normally the objective is related to either to well, basically it's monetary objective, like whether either you want to minimize the cost or maximize the profit by increasing the customer satisfaction. Okay, this is the traditional facility location. Okay, now we move. During this class, we will go discussing a lot of type of facility location problems in terms of how it models, how it, what is the characteristics. Well, this, not all of this facility location may be related with the facility location that you might found in your particular industry or the one that you're going to use as your study, but it is good to have a lot of reference, a lot of information about this type of models. So why? Because normally the more this will introduce you a lot of basic facility location problem, right? The more knowledge you have about the several type of facility location problems, the easier you search which one will be closely related with the problems that you are currently working on. Okay, so let's start from the one of the basic or one of the most discussed facility location problem. This group, I say group of problem. Okay, so it consists of several problems, several main models. It's this group of problems considered using the name of location allocation problem. Okay, you might found this type of problem in a lot of areas, and there is a lot of solver also, or there is a lot of tools you can use to solve this problem. One of the tools that is most famous for this type of problem, perhaps like already embedded in the GIS type of software. For example, have you ever heard about ArcGIS? Let me type in our chat. ArcGIS. Okay, anyone heard about ArcGIS? You can write in the chat. Or QGIS, yeah, QGIS. Yeah, well, GIS stand for Geographical Information System. So basically, this software provide it's a system. It's a software that provide information related to geographical area at certain place. Okay. So basically, GIS nowadays is not only to display you a map, but it can also be used to make a decision. And to help you to make a decision, of course, first they need to have data. Second, they need to have this software will have like several features or several functions that might help you to do your decision. For example, oh, I want to locate and allocate or allocate means like you remove those facility from your network. Locate means to add the facility to your network. Okay, decision related adding or removing facility from the network that you already have. Normally GIS software like ArcGIS or QGIS will have this function embedded in their software. And well, behind the software, actually there is a optimization things going on, right? So if you know about optimization, you will learn about how we will model those optimization in mathematical formulation. Yeah, those are the things that we are going to discuss. Okay, so location allocation mostly focus on like I mentioned earlier. Here you go. This one. Oops. Okay, identifying the optimal facility. So it means like you want to open or you want to close facility. Those are location and allocation. Okay, and like every other optimization problems, they will have the whether it's minimization or maximization. But normally, the consideration of location allocation problems is to minimize the total cost, whether it's related to the transportation cost or the cost of opening or closing those facilities. Yeah, and another things also that needs to be considered is you will have demand, specific demand from several customer, and then you will need to satisfy based on what consideration you do in your model. So there is this at least 4 main models being discussed as the location allocation problems. We have here P median problems. What is P median? We will see it later in the next slide. Plan location, I think we don't discuss this one. Later, if I found the paper related to this, I will give it to you. P center, we will discuss it also here. And coverage location problems, we will discuss it today. And then those basic models will also have the general models. General models, basically called location allocations. And this is just the example of it. And yeah, this one, the software that I mentioned earlier. So ArcGIS is very powerful software, and then it has a location allocation feature. And if you want to explore, this is a very good software you can use. Perhaps you can also have it you can use the function in this software to like generate distance metrics, and then yeah, a lot of things you can. It is very helpful software. It's just like the commercial. It is a commercial software, so I think we need to think about it first if you really need it, so that because it's not cheap also. Okay. And yeah, behind those function about location allocation in those particular software, normally it will has a mathematical model behind it, and we will study a lot of those type of mathematical models today. Mathematical models or mathematical optimization problems, normally you need to break down those mathematical model into this at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. First, you need to formulate what will be the input. Okay, what will be the input, what will be the parameters, and then what will be the decision variable, what will be the output, and then the objective and the constraint. Okay, so here in general location allocation problems, you will have input like how many demand nodes you will consider in your problems, and then how many candidate location, and then if it is talking about minimizing the transportation cost, normally we can associate it, the transportation cost with the distance. Okay, the distance from these demand nodes to the candidate facility. Okay, this one J element J. Okay, and then each customer normally associated with the demand. Yeah, and the decision that you need to make is like you need to select which facility. Okay, facility J. Okay, will cover the demand I. So here, Yij, it is this one. Yeah, which facility J will cover demand A, or demand I will be covered by which facility. If demand I is covered by facility J, the value will be 1. If not, the value will be 0. This is the decision variables. And you will see the total transportation cost. You will consider transportation cost here. And then, but the total transportation cost in these particular problems is associated with the distance. So you can use it this directly as a cost, or like this, just the distance. So this one will be total distance, not the cost, because now we have the distance as a Dij. And what is Yij? Yij is decision variable. So Yij multiplied by Dij for all I and j, or sum of I and sum of j will be the total travel distance. And then here the equation will be about Hi is the demand, right? So all the demand can be separated into several assignment. For example, if you have I here, this one J, sorry, this maybe triangular. Okay, this one triangular. Okay, J equal 1, this one J equal 2. It says like 10 demand Hi. Okay, this means the meaning of this constraint is that the demand that go to served by facility J and served by facility J equal 1 and J equal 2, these 10 numbers can be separated. 5 here, 5 here, or 6 here, 4 here. This is the decision that you will make late Yij and Yij here is the decision that you need to make later, because this will determine how many is the objective function. Okay. So there are the very, very basic version of location allocation models. Okay. Now we start to another example of the models. Okay. First, I will discuss about covering problems. So covering problems is the problem that can be found in many location allocation contexts or many location decision related. Well, it's basically we define covering terminology first. Covering terminology means that if you open a facility in one particular location, we normally define the coverage area of those facility being located from that particular locations. And the easiest way to demonstrate this concept is like, okay, if you have an ambulance, let's say you want to first decide the location of the ambulance in particular area. Okay, you have several candidate location, can be in hospital A, can be in hospital B. Okay, now how do you define, if I open in location A, which area will be covered by those ambulance? Okay, there is several ways you can use to define this. First, of course, you will base on, okay, maybe we define the coverage area based on the distance. How far is the distance if your customer is within, let's say, 10 kilometers? It will be that will be the definition of the coverage area for this particular location for ambulance. But another question will be like, how I can decide 10 kilometer or 5 kilometer or 20 kilometer, right? What is the best for this decision? Okay. If it is ambulance, perhaps you can use the approach of, let's say like this. What is the most crucial disease being treated by the ambulance? Okay, you need to collect the data from the hospital. Okay, let's say the crucial disease that normally they will call ambulance, like heart attack. Okay, I'm hoping everyone is healthy now, but yeah, sometimes heart attack is a very fatal disease, right? You need to get treatment, let's say in 3 minutes, or I don't really know actually how many minutes you can survive if you have heart attack. Let's assume it is 3 minutes. Okay, so your ambulance from your call to your location should be at most 3 minutes, right? And it's quite impossible actually. So the definition about coverage will be based on those numbers. So okay, ambulance will be 3 minutes. Then where should I put the location? Okay, then you convert it to distance. So basically, if I have the vehicle speed is 100. Oh no, it's too big. 80 kilometers. 80 kilometers per hours. So you convert this to minutes, and then you know that the time equals distance divided by velocity. So you will define the coverage distance will be time multiplied by the velocity. Right? V equal S. Distance will be equals time multiplied by velocity, right? So that's how you can define the coverage area. Okay, and then now covering location will be about how do you decide where you will put the facility so that the coverage area of this facility, you will try to, let's say, covering location have several branches, like either is set covering or maximum covering problem. So basically what we want is like, how do you maximize those service based on the minimum number of facility being located, okay, or from the amount of facility that required by the decision maker. Okay, now there is a lot of application for this one, like ambulance, police, or health facility, or also crew scheduling. Crew scheduling also can be treated as the covering problems. Okay, yeah, we have set covering location and maximum covering location. Okay, first we will discuss about set covering problem. Okay, this is a part of covering problems, in which the set covering problem perhaps is the simplest, the most simple facility location model. So the objective is to find or to decide which facility being selected or being open that going to minimize the total cost of using those facilities. For example, I want to open the facility here, and then there you can select, you can calculate, oh, if I open it here, how much money I will spend every month. Okay, so those will be the fixed cost. And then if I open it another place, how much is I'm going to spend. And then for set covering problem in particular, those will be the objective, but we also have the constraint where we want to make sure all of our demand is gonna be covered, or like I mentioned earlier, covered. The covering itself is a definition of whether you can reach or you can serve those customer or not. Yeah. So here we will have, this is going to in more detail. We deep in more detail about the model. So every time you discuss about optimization models, you will need to very understand about this component. What is the input parameters? What is the decision variable? What is the objective function? And what is the constraint itself? So to support this definition about the facility, the set covering problems, so you need to define the input of AIJ to define whether one particular customer is able to serve by the those particular site or not. Okay, for example, if you have like here, like this is candidate 1, candidate 2, candidate 1, candidate 2, candidate 3, and you have customer 1, customer 2, and customer 3. Let's say the radius is like this. Okay, this one. So the matrix Aij here, I will be here 1, 2, 3, and then here is 1, 2, 3. The value of 1, it means that it is covered by those particular facility. This one is I, this one is J. Okay, so here is facility J is 1, covered demand 1, this one, yes, it is covered. Okay, facility J 1, covered demand 2 or not? Yes, 1. And demand 3, yes, so 1, 1, 1. And then another one is facility 2. Okay, no, this one is 0. 1 covered this one, J1 covered this one, but not number 3. Okay, 1, 1, 0. What about facility 2 here? Which one is covered by facility 2? Oh, so 1 and 2 is not, so it's 0 and 0, and demand number 3 is covered, so it's 1. And nggak usah. Okay, so sorry for the delay. So this one is definition of covering. So 0 means not covered, 1 means being covered. So, and then facility number 3 here. So number 3, you will cover what? Basically none. So it's 0, 0, 0, right? So this will be the definition of covering. And then each facility being open, so let's say facility 3, if you want to use, you need to pay something, some amount of money. Facility 1, you should, if you use, you will need to pay some amount of money. 2 also like that. So this will be the F. Cost of locating facility at candidate set J. Okay. And the decision variable is to define whether you are going to use this facility or not. If you use this facility, let's say you want to open facility 1, so x1 will be equal 1. If not, it will be equal 0. Okay, here because the objective is to minimize the total, this one total facility being open multiplied by the cost of using those facility. And then here, you should be using Aij, is whether it's covered or not. And then Xj, it's like if it is okay, this represent we want to cover all the demand. Okay, so this constraint means Aij is the what to say, this matrix, right? Whether facility J is going to cover node I or not. Okay, if you want, if the total Aij xj is greater than 1, it means that you want to have, like here, all nodes should be covered by at least one facility. Okay, so when you multiply by Aij multiplied by xj, it means that you want to make sure those facility being covered, those nodes being covered. So this represent that you want to cover all the facility, all the nodes, the demand. So here the constraint is only this, and xj element 0 and 1 for all j, it's represent that the decision is a binary, it's with either 0 or 1. So for this one, it means that, okay, let's see for this particular problem. Okay, it means that if you want to minimize the total cost of opening this facility, actually this is obvious. You need to open 1 and open 2. Why? Because that's the only way you can cover all the demand, right? You want to cover the demand. So for this particular problem, the answer will be x1 equal 1, x2 equal 1, x3 equal 0. There is no other option for this. Okay. Next. Yeah, this is an example of set covering problems. Again, if you need to, first of all, what you can do here is to first you need to convert from the distance here to the Aij matrix. To, let's say this is the distance from one location to another location, like what we have here. For example, this is the graph that we are going to consider, right? Okay, you have A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, and then first of all, you need to calculate from A to A to B, A to C, A to D, A to E, and A to F. Okay, and then this distance will be based on the shortest path from one location to another location. For example, from A to D, what is the shortest way to go from A to D? Yeah, of course, direct path, right? From A to D directly. So it will be 10. But the question now is, what about A to E? There is several ways to go. Okay, there is several ways to go from A to E. For example, you can go from A to B and then to E, and then from A to D and then to E. The shortest path means which way give you the shortest distance. Let's say from A to B to E, so you will get 8 plus 16. So this is 24. What about if you go from A to D to E? So this is 10 plus 11, so it's 21. Another extreme is like you go from A to C to E. Yeah, 15, 9, 24. It's even more farther. So this will be the shortest distance from A to D to E. So you put from A to E here, the value will be 21. Yeah. Okay, those are the definition of shortest path. And then now you need to calculate all of the distance here, distance metric, Dij. Sorry. distance metric here, this one. For the set covering problems, what do you need is the matrix Aij, right? To define if it is 1, it means that the particular facility will cover those demand node I. But if not, it means that out of the coverage distance. So then you need to know what is the coverage distance for your particular problems. Here, let's say we define it is 11 unit. Okay, so from the distance metric that you have here, you need to see which one is greater than 11, which one is less than 11. If it is greater than 11, you put 0. And if it is less than 11, you put 1. So you have A to A is 1 because it's 0. A to B is 8, means 8 is less than 11. So you put 1 here. A to C is 15. 15 is more than 11. So you put 0 here. Okay, that's how you generate the coverage matrix. Yeah, then you have this coverage matrix, and then the next you just need to put the formulation here. Okay, so let's say if we have the fixed cost all will be equal to 1. So the first if you break down the function here, it will become like this. This summation means like x1 multiplied f1 fa multiplied by xa, fb multiplied by xb, fc multiplied by xd, fd, fe, and ff. If this one all equal 1, so what's left is only the a plus b plus c plus d, right? This is the manual way to calculate this one. Okay, and then you want to make sure that for all I, ai multiplied by xj greater than 1. So you need to break down a equals, to make sure the node A is covered, so it can be from xa, from xb, or xc, right? Or the summation based on this one. So the one that node A is this one, right? 1, A, B, or D, right? So XA plus XB plus XD should be greater than equal 1. This one to make sure node A is covered. Okay, this is how you could understand the formula by break down all those formula. But when you write it in the solver, you don't use this one because your data can be updated always, right? So the way you create it, you write it like this, not like this. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, this is about the set covering location problem. How do you solve this one? You can use mathematical programming, you can use Excel solver, or you can program it using Python. I will provide you another video tutorial for that. Okay. And okay. Next. Okay, that one is set covering location problems. Okay, in several conditions, we cannot really assume that we can cover all the location. For example, for ambulance location, we may nitpick where we can put the ambulance facility, and some area may be not covered, right? For example, you have a lot of demand here, here. Let's say like this. But your ambulance coverage is like this, and then here is like this, and then here is like this, here is like this. Let's say you are allowed only to open like two locations. So it means that if you open this one and this one, perhaps another location will not be covered. Okay. So for this particular case, we have another model, so-called maximum covering location. So you try to maximize the coverage of the location that you select. Okay, those are called maximum covering location. Okay, and for this particular model, we will have like it's only slightly different with the set covering location. But one of the several notation is still the same. Like we still have the AIJ, we still have the fixed cost, the X still represent the same things, and the rest we add another new inputs, such as, okay, since we want to prioritize the which location being which demand going to be served, so we'll have the criteria or the weight for those demand by we call it demand at node I. For example, those ambulance problem, you will try to cover as much as possible, and then the location that you cover, we want it to be have the highest demand instead of the lowest demand. For example, perhaps this is the number of people here or here, right? The population of the people in this current location, or the population of this should be larger than this one, something like that, if you want to cover those locations. And then this is the parameters that we need, HI. And then sometimes we also limited by the number of facility can be open or can be used. Perhaps because of the budget, you can only open one or something like that. So you have the target number of facilities being located, so-called P. And then you have another decision variables. Previously we have XJ. Now we have another ZI. ZI will represent whether the location or the demand I, demand node I, is being covered or not. Okay, because you want to maximize those amount of the demand being covered by that facility. Okay, so now the objective will be different. Instead of minimize, now it's maximize. And this is practically the same. Previously we have Aij, Xj, right? Sigma J element J less than equal to 1, right? This one, actually, we can change it, become Zi, okay? And it becomes this constraint, okay? So this one is to give the value of Zi. If you have Zi equal 1, no, it's here. It means that those demand being covered. If not, it will be 0. And you are allowed to have Z demand being not covered here. Not the same with the previous model where the demand being all the demand nodes should be covered. Okay, so this is the difference between this particular model with the previous one. Another thing is this one, okay, where your the total number of facility being allocated now is being limited by some number equals to P. Let's say if you only can open one facility, so P will be equal to 1. And total number of facility being open, Xj, will be 1. Okay, let's say you have previously 1, 2, 3 facility. If P equal 1, so sigma Xj, so this one Xj, X1 equals 0, this one X2 equals 0, X3 equal 1. So this is feasible. But if this one is equal 1, it means it being used. So sigma xj will not be less than equal to P, right? Because you open two facility, but you can only open one. So this will be not feasible for this particular problem. Okay. And then, yeah, this is the example. Actually, I have another video that is clearly explain this one. I will send it to you. So for this, the first covering problem, maximum covering problems, P median, and then P median, and then modus. Yeah, the other one I have another video explain about it. So I will not really go in detail about this one. So I will send you those video instead of this, explaining this in detail. And it is also have the application. How do you apply it in AMPL? So I guess like because that one is focus on optimization problems. So and it is conducted in 3 weekly meetings. So I think if I explain this one in detail, it will take too long. So better you study that video instead of, so we can focus more on the concept here. So I hope you understand this one compared to the set covering problems. The difference is only that the previous one asks you to cover all the demand. This one not. Okay. Okay. For set covering approach, there is a lot of way. If the amount of the nodes being solved is not many, you can use mathematical programming approach like branch and bound or exact solution approach. Mathematical programming is actually exact solution approach. You can use branch and bound solver, Excel solver, or other mathematical programming solver like Lingo, MPL, Cplex, Gurobi, and Minisync. But if the number of nodes that you are using is large, so perhaps you need to use like another heuristic. It means that you may not find the best solution, but it's close enough, okay? Because of the number of nodes is too many, mathematical programming sometimes not being able to solve it in very fast, in the short amount of time. But again, since this problem actually normally being to take a strategic decision, so people tends to want you to have an optimal solution instead of like suboptimal one from the heuristic. So try as much as you can to, if it is it is a strategic decision, try to as much as possible to have an optimal solution based on your models. Okay. Okay, this is the reference that you can read if you are interested on the covering problems. And okay, now let's talk about the P-median problems, or so-called median problems. Well, basically covering problems is concentrate more on the service to the customer. Okay, like if it is can be served, it can serve the customer or not. But median problem is more to how do you locate or allocate the facility, considering the cost, yeah, the cost associated with the opening or closing those facilities. Okay, so this is more closely related with, for example, how do you locate the warehouse, like what I explained earlier. How do you open, okay, public facility, like this one, just an example of public bike. But public bike also can be considered as covering problems, but it depends on your assumption. Or another like electric vehicle charging or logistic hub, those mostly model as the P-median problems. Okay, and the differences here is that first is quite similar with what you have in the maximum covering location problems. But here, normally the cost will be associated with the distance, and then demand is to have it here, number of facility being allocated. Xj is still the candidate facility being selected. But here you also have Yij. It means that since we are considering whether let's say the transportation cost, so you need to know which facility will be served which demand. Okay, so it has the decision variable Yij. Okay, then the objective will be the total demand being served there multiplied by the distance and then multiplied by the decision whether that particular demand in I will be served from J or not. Okay, and then the constraint will be like we want for this one, it's a little bit strict, like we want each demand here for all I, so it means like each demand can only be covered from one particular facility. Yeah. Okay. And then okay. And then we want to make sure also you open exactly P facility. Okay. So if you have budget to open 2 facilities, so this particular model will select this amount of facility. Okay. So you want to open 2, so this model will select 2 facility. If you want to open 1, so this model will select 1. Okay. And you want to make sure that Yij should be less than equal to Xj. Yeah, this is just connecting. If you want to open, each one should be visited. So this one, the value should be either 1 or 0, right? So if you use those facility, so there should be at least 1 demand covered from that one. Yeah. So, sorry, so at most 1. This one should be 1 or 0, right? 0 or 1. So this one will be, if you use this facility, then you can have connection from that facility. But if the facility is not being open, there is no way you can connect from that facility or cover a demand from that facility. And W is wait. I think this one is not here. Yeah, this one is not here. So this one not needed here. So just until here. Okay. Yeah. So this one, okay. And again, there is a lot of algorithms. I think if we have time next week, I will try to give you explanation about one of these algorithms, like either heuristic or meta heuristics or mathematical programming. I think I have the video, so you can learn from that one. Okay. Maybe meta heuristic I will explain. Perhaps genetic algorithm, so you have another knowledge about this approach. Okay. And this one is several reference related to it. Okay. Then we have center problem. Okay, center problems basically, well, it's part of set covering problems. Okay. When you relax the constraint of set covering problem in terms of the coverage, okay, we don't have to cover all the demand. So it becomes maximum covering problems that I already explained. But if you relax the coverage distance, okay, let's say previously we have, okay, at least it will be, the covering will be 15. But if not, you want to, okay, we actually want to minimize, okay. We want to minimize the total travel distance, let's say if you have 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's say if you want to open this facility and this facility, the most travel, the largest travel will be perhaps this one. Let's say this one 15 kilo, this one 10 kilo, 14, 13, 12. So it's minimize the most distance to cover the customer. So that's why it's called minimax problem or center problems. Okay, and this is the concept of center problem. So when does this can be applied? For example, okay, like previous one, you maybe not be able to cover the demand of ambulance in 3 minutes. Okay, but somehow if you open those ambulance facility in one location, actually it can serve even it's like quite far, like 10 minutes, like this one. It is better to be able to approach that in 10 minutes here instead of saying that, oh, it's not going to be covered, right? So this is the concept of center problems actually. So you assume that all demand can be covered, but it's just like the time will be different or the distance will be different to cover one particular demand to compare to another one. So that's the things that you want to minimize. Okay. So to represent those value or the minimum of the farthest distance, you use W. Okay. So basically the formulation will be similar with what we have in the P medians. Instead, we have this particular constraint. W greater than sigma Dij and Yij. This will be the distance part, and this will be the value of those distance. Okay. And then, yeah, again, you can select whether you can use heuristic or mathematical programming, but that's not gonna be easy to. You need to consider the characteristic for the problem you are going to solve. If it is crucial to the or strategic, you will try as much as possible to use the mathematical programming or exact solutions. Yeah, but if it is like you need the time to solve it, or this cannot be solved using mathematical programming or exact, you can try to utilize this heuristics approach. Okay, yeah, this is the reference. But again, for all those 3 problems being discussed, I have one series of videos that I can share to you. Okay, and okay, next, this one is quite. It's a new. It's a different discussion or a new materials compared to the topic that I discussed in the class called optimization, advanced optimization techniques. So I think this one we don't have the video yet, and actually facility locations that we discussed earlier is very simplified. Okay, for example, we only have one layer of one type of facility, right? So one particular facility is not different with the other facility, but in practice maybe there is more than one type of facility. Yeah, many facility systems can be considered as this type of facility location problem, so-called hierarchical. So basically, what is hierarchical facility location problems? It considers the type of service provided by every particular facility is different from one to another. Okay, for example, a medical center or their facility that provide medical treatment for the patient. Okay, We may have a hospital, a medical center, or local clinic. All of those facility can provide medical service for the customer, the patient. But somehow, each of those facility has different level, right? For example, local clinics perhaps is a facility that can provide basic medical health care, and only basic diagnostic services. But if you go to the medical center, which is larger than the local clinic, this can treat outpatient surgery, but also can treat this, right? Or even the more complex one, yeah. Or like this, the second level can only provide outpatient service, okay, but the larger one, like the hospital, can provide actually all of this. It's a full range of patient service. They can provide this one, they can provide this one. Okay, those are 6 examples of hierarchical facility location. And hierarchical facility location actually can consist of several optimization model. It can be a flow-based model, like single flow and multiple flow. We will discuss this one. Or it consists of the one that we discussed earlier, whether it's median-based or maximal-based. Median-based can be globally inclusive, locally inclusive, and successive inclusive. Okay, so these are only the model itself. Okay, and again, we will not discuss in detail, but we will discuss the concept first. How do you implement this one? Actually, we need to have like another session for it. But I think like if you need it, you can always find me in my office hour or make appointment with me. We will discuss this in more detail if it is related to your project. Okay. So now let's discuss about the single flow hierarchical facility location problem. Previously, we already know that well, there is several level of facility like local clinic, medical center, and hospital. For this one, we consider 2 level. Okay, level 1 and level 2. Facility in level 1 represented by J, right? Candidate facility level 1, J. And then candidate facility in, level 1 is, yeah, J here. And then level 2 is J accent. J, put the accent here, okay? And then here what we have is actually the cost unit. So you can transfer the demand from here single flow. It means like only one directional. You can transfer the demand from, this one is square, okay, from demand node I to J, facility in the first level, and then the first level you can transfer to the second level, JXN. Yeah. So there will be a cost related transferring this to this, J to JXN, and then there will be a cost transferring from I to J, the demand to location. And we need to serve all the demand here, HI. And we have the target facility. How many facility you can open here? How many facility you can open here? Okay. And how many facility are being located here? How many facility are being available in this particular level? And then this is the target facility, PX and P. Okay. And then the decision variable will be, we will have 3 and then 1 to like a helper decision variable. So this will be calculated in the constraint. So XJ accent is if you will use the facility in level 2, facility J accent in level 2. YJ will be if you are going to use the facility at level 1. Particular facility J level 1. JXN, whether you want to how many you will transfer from the facility level 1 here to the facility level 2 here, and UIJ is the facility how many you want to transfer from facility level J, demand I to facility level J, level 1 indexed by J. And the objective is to minimize total cost of transferring from customer to facility level 1 and then from facility level 1 to facility level 2. And basically this is the modification of median problems. No, this is flow-based model. So this is to calculate the amount of the demand in I needs to be transferred all to the facility level 1, and then this one to make sure all the demands being transferred in the facility level 1 can be transferred to the facility level 2. And this is to number 4 and 5 is about the capacity limitation. Okay, because M is the number of facility at that particular level. If you multiply it by YJ, it means that it's located or not. So the total will be need to accommodate all those demand being transferred to that facility. The same here. And then this will be like the amount of facility being open in the level 1 and level 2. Yeah. So basically that is the single flow location model. And then multi-flow is similar with the single flow. It's just that you can have direct flow from demand I directly to facility at level JXN. So bypass this J. Yeah, you don't need to go to the J. Yeah, so that's the only difference. And then globally inclusive. Okay, this one is flow model. Okay, this one, if you see, it's very, very similar with the P median problem, right? So constraint. But here, what do you have is actually you will have an additional index called service type. So it is assumed that each facility or each demand has, we have several type of demand. Okay, so that will be HIK. And then if you are going to if you want to serve this demand, you will need to make sure that the facility is providing those service demand or not. Yeah, and here we will basically add one index K to the pre-median problems. Okay, but here it is assumed that each facility here can serve each demand type. Yeah, so they can go anywhere for this particular demand can be served in every facility. So we assume that each facility have full range of service from K equal 1 to equals to M. So it represents by this constraint. Okay. If you want to have like some facility can only serve several type of service, for example, like that. So here you can see there is another additional constraint here. Yeah. So if you want like one particular facility can only serve like how to say, can only serve one particular type service, you need to add this constraint, and it's called the locally exclusive HLP. Okay, and then if you want that, here you go. Okay, this one, right, can only serve one particular service, right? And it can be, but it still can be separated into two facility. Yeah, that is the one. But here you need to make sure that all the demand, yeah, all the demand being transferred to the facility is how to say, can only be transferred to one particular facility only. So if you reduce this constraint number 5, it means that only one particular facility will serve the particular service K, right? Okay, so restrict that the value will be, this value will be served by another facility XJK. Okay. And then, yeah, those are the hierarchical facility location problems. And here is the reference about it. Okay, the last one, dynamic facility location. I'm not going to go into the mathematical models because we already discussed a lot of model earlier. And for your particular problem, I'm hoping that the way that we can utilize those information is like this. First, you need to know the problems that you are going to solve. It's deterministic, static, or dynamic, or stochastic. Okay. Second, you need to really know what is the characteristic being considered there. And then you can find a literature or reference to see which one is the closest one to the problem that you're going to solve, and then start from that one, modify from that one. Okay. This one for dynamic facility location, my goals to introduce you with this topic is only to let you know that facility location problems can be considered as static and dynamics. Okay, dynamic problem mean that during the decision making process, there will be a new information appears, right? And then how your decision that you already made earlier can deal with this new decision variables. Okay, so basically there is two main criteria for decision making to choose location, right? Whether it's cost of relocation a new one to the relocating the old one, or opening and closing the company, the facility location. And for dynamic facility locations, one of the important consideration related to this decision is like, okay, if it is about relocating, so how do you deal with dynamically assign new facility at different time horizon? Okay, this will be considered as dynamic facility location problems. And we have a lot of type like this. Whether you want to assign single facility location like the previous one, or multiple facility location, or location allocation problems, all of those previous version that we discussed have the dynamic version of it. Yeah, so basically your model previously, like, okay, it's a one done decision, right? Okay, we make a decision and then we finish with it. But what if a new information appears? Like, okay, let's say we know that what if new demand will changing? How do you deal with it if the new situation like that? So in dynamic facility location, it discuss the approach for that one. It is more close to the what is LBM, Justin? I don't understand. Okay. So, oh yeah, okay, no problem. You're just saying that, yeah, why do you late? Yeah, okay. I thought you're asking about the facility location problems. Okay, so the solution approach, this one is a little bit different. It is more difficult to solve using exact solution approach. So that there will be more like a heuristic approach, like meta-heuristic algorithms. Okay, yeah, this is the reference. So basically what I want to introduce here is a lot of models you can consider for your particular problem. Just choose which one is the more closely related with the problem you're being solved. Okay, I think, yeah, that's all for today. Do you have any question for this one?